there's more to your school than brick and mortar. It's your school name, your brand, your mission. Everything at your school has a story. Stories will appeal to your community. So today we're going to look at what your story is and how to create fundraising campaigns around them. First, we're going to discuss how the stories about your school can be converted into revenue-generating fundraising campaigns. Many of you already know how to use these traditional marketing tactics and communication to appeal to your community, but today we're going to discuss creative methods that are proven not only to work, but increase your donations. So let's get started with driving revenue with storytelling. So I will just make one point. As some of you were registering, you had the opportunity to also ask questions. I'd just like to focus that this is different than your annual fund, where you generally have a lump of all donations. So one term that's actually used within independent schools is a capital campaign. So this is, in essence, storytelling is going to be focusing on a capital campaign or something separate for fundraising outside of your annual fund. So let's get started here. Your annual fund may be your largest area for fundraising, but there are plenty of other projects and needs at your school that will allow you to create a stronger story. These stories can be broken down into creative campaigns targeted to specific audiences using various different resources that you likely already have available. To get started, let's answer some of these questions. We'll run through a hypothetical campaign across this presentation as well, and it'll help you get a better feel for what we're going for. So these questions that we're going to be asking are: what does your school need? Who will this campaign benefit? How much money do you need? When do you need it? What tools do you have? And what budget do you have, if any, available? So for this particular example, we're going to look at implementing a technological upgrade for the school. Let's say we have close to 300 students, or expecting to have 300 students, and we need to get every single student a laptop. So rather than just saying that we straight out need between $75,000 and $80,000 to raise to get laptops for every single student, we're going to look at the story that drives that need, how it's going to benefit the community, how it's going to benefit the different people that are potential donors, and really just kind of build a campaign around that concept. And on top of that, schools do a fantastic job with hosting events. So we're going to also drive people to, let's say, register for a specific event. And for those who can't actually physically attend, they'll be driven to a specific location, which explains how important this need is, and then also have the opportunity to give it as well. It's important to really segment your audience. Now, I'm going to have Amy discuss this because she does a fantastic job with messaging maps, and she can give you a better idea of how this works.
Okay, so this is a campaign story map or message map, and typically what we'll do is use these to get our messaging kind of refined and define what our core message is and who are we targeting and what are the core messages that are going to resonate with those target audiences. And this really helps you organize and use it as a reference tool as you're building out your campaign, and you make sure that you stay on message and you go back to that original storyline that you created when you first came up with the campaign, and make sure that you don't kind of go off course there.
So assuming you already have a newsletter or a CRM list with information about your community, it's important to keep the database organized. For storytelling, you need segmented lists. Targeting alumni, parents, grandparents, and locals each require a different message. When building your database and accepting donations online, ensure that you're collecting enough information to make segmentation easier, but also don't overburden them with unnecessary fields as well. As you know, giving in many cases requires recognition of sorts. Having an organized database also helps with follow-ups and thank you cards. And establishing a strong relationship with your school is one of the keys to improving how often and how many times a person donates. When it comes to creating personalized emails and cards to remind donors to give, you can also include the amount that they gave last year as a reminder of encouragement as well. And that's all based on what kind of information that you collect.